Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. Although we're not live today, I am still gallivanting through Guadalajara, celebrating my birthday with a choice of wonderful friends. By today, Monday, July 10th, we will have gone to the opera, and I'm certainly sure that that experience will be wonderful and memorable. I can't wait to tell you all about it when I come back to Puerto Vallarta, which will be on Wednesday. Today will be a pre-recorded show. Tomorrow will be a pre-recorded show as well. No Doris today. If you watched Saturday's broadcast, you probably noticed that I was having some fun with a cartoon character. We called her Doris, and she may come back. She may not. I'm not sure yet, but I'm certainly hoping that you are beginning the week with a bang, that you had a wonderful weekend, and that you're happy to be here. I will be checking the broadcast from Guadalajara just to make sure that you are in your best behavior. Today, just as Saturday, I prepared a bunch of pre-recorded thingies for you to enjoy, but I want to start with clarifying something, because Saturday, if you watch Saturday, you probably notice that I mentioned that I was working on something, and that after the second feature, or the two features that we had on Saturday, things would be clearer. And then I looked at the pre-recording and I didn't explain a single thing. So that was my bad. But I am so eager to explain myself today. So we were looking on Saturday at a presentation on chocolate, and you may have noticed that at the end of the broadcast, or at the end of the feature, there was this, oops, hold on just a second. Let me put that on the screen. Come on, Paquito. There you go. You may have noticed that I featured this logo on the upper right-hand corner, and it says Que Chingon. Que Chingon. What does Que Chingon mean? Que Chingon means how awesome. And why is that logo there? Well, because one of the things that I've been thinking of is the fact that I love talking about Mexico. I love talking about awesome things from Mexico. Sometimes they have to do with Puerto Vallarta, sometimes they don't, like when we get into Mexican history and so forth and so on. So I've been thinking, I know that these are appreciated by Coffee and Headlines viewers like you, but at the same time, there might be a whole bunch of English-speaking folks coming to Mexico, or living in Mexico, or planning on relocating to Mexico, or maybe just for a vacation, that want to know more about our culture. So in thinking about this, I figured, well, maybe I can create a whole series of videos that have to do with this. And then I thought to myself, well, where am I going to put these videos? So I can tell you for certain that these videos will be branded with Quechingon. How awesome. And Quechingon is meant to encompass all the wonderful things that have to do with Mexico, its life, its culture, our history, and all the things that make our country wonderful. Now, where are these videos going to live? I'm not sure yet, but it's very, very likely that they are going to live in a separate YouTube channel that I will be creating from scratch for that purpose. So the way it's going to work is I'll feature these videos here in Coffee and Headlines as part of the morning content. But instead of uploading them to the Coffee and Headlines website or YouTube page, they will go on a totally separate YouTube page that I will then promote and market throughout Mexico, not just here in Puerto Vallarta. The bottom line for those of you that watch regularly is that I am just so excited about continuing to create useful content about my country for anyone that speaks English that wants to dive deeper. And I'm sure, or I hope rather, that you will enjoy that content as well. So to get that ball rolling, and this is part of that software package that I was talking about on Saturday that I purchased or I subscribed to that allows me to create nice little mini documentaries. Let us start with the first one of two that I prepared for today. As I was looking at halfway through the week last week, I was looking at, okay, so what am I going to pre-record content about? And I went looking for, hold on, itchy eye. There you go. I went looking for the whoops. Hold on just a sec. See, I forget I was pre-recording and I just paused and got glitch out of my eye. Anyhow, I went looking online to find out what kind of special festivities were coming up in the Mexican official calendar, what's going on that you might be interested in knowing about. And there are no official holidays until September, which is our Mexican Independence Month. But I found two fascinating interventions between the Aztecs and the conquistadors that took place right around this time back in the 1500s. And I thought you would enjoy learning a little bit about them. So tonight we find out, this morning, we find out about these two battles and take a look. Hopefully you will enjoy them. There are no official holidays in Mexico's calendar between now and September, the month in which we celebrate our independence from the Spaniards. However, there are two important events that took place around this time of year, back in 1520, as we struggled against the Spanish conquistadors. I'd like to tell you about them today. As a preamble, it is worth remembering that Hernán Cortés arrived at Tenochtitlan, now Mexico City, on November 8, 1519. Upon arrival, he took residence in a specially designed compound in the city. It is also worth recalling at this time that back in 1519, Tenochtitlan was largely surrounded by water canals, as shown in this facsimile of a map produced by Cortés at the time. Soon after arriving and suspecting treachery on the part of their hosts, the Spaniards took Moctezuma II, their Aztec king, hostage. They instructed him to tell his subjects he had been ordered by the gods to form an alliance with the Spaniards. But the Aztecs suspected this not to be true, and during the following months, Cortés and his native allies, the Tlaxcaltecs, were increasingly unwelcome. In May of 1520, Cortés left the city of Tenochtitlan in the hands of his lieutenant, Pedro de Alvarado, while he went to the coast to face a rival Spanish expedition. During Cortés's absence, on May 22nd, Alvarado ordered a massacre known as the Massacre in the Great Temple during a religious ceremony, which further fueled resentment among the Aztecs. When Cortés returned to Tenochtitlan, the Aztecs, led by their ruler Moctezuma II, launched an uprising against the Spanish forces on June 30th, 1520. The Aztecs managed to trap the Spanish and their indigenous allies in the city. The night of the uprising became known as La Noche Triste, or the Night of Sorrows, due to the heavy losses suffered by the Spanish. The Spanish were able to break out of the palace on that night, but they were heavily outnumbered and outgunned by the Aztecs. Many of the Spanish were killed or wounded, and they were forced to flee in the darkness. The Spanish lost a great deal of treasure and supplies during their escape, and they were forced to retreat to Tlaxcala, an enemy of the Aztecs. During the chaotic retreat, the Spanish and their allies faced fierce resistance from the Aztecs. Many soldiers drowned in the canals that crisscrossed the city, and a significant number of Spanish soldiers and indigenous allies were killed. Cortés himself was wounded during the escape. La Noche Triste was a pivotal moment in the Spanish conquest of Mexico. It marked a significant setback for the Spanish forces, but it also fueled their determination to ultimately conquer Tenochtitlan. Their comeback came not even 2 weeks later. After the devastating events of La Noche Triste the week before, Hernán Cortés and his remaining soldiers sought to regroup and rebuild their forces. They gathered their indigenous allies from Tlaxcala and other regions and prepared to face the Aztecs once again. The Spanish and their allies encountered a large Aztec army near the town of Otumba, located in the present-day state of Mexico. The Aztec army, under the command of the Emperor Cuitláhuac, sought to eliminate the Spanish forces and halt their advance. During the battle, the Spanish and their indigenous allies faced fierce resistance from the Aztecs. However, the Spanish cavalry, armed with horses and steel weapons, proved to be a significant advantage. The Spanish infantry and indigenous warriors fought valiantly, employing their superior firepower and tactics against a larger Aztec force. In a crucial moment of the battle, Cortés singled out the Aztec commander Cuitláhuac and engaged him in combat. Despite being outnumbered, Cortés managed to wound Cuitláhuac, causing disorder among the Aztec ranks and demoralizing their forces. This turn of events further tipped the scales in favor of the Spanish and their allies. Ultimately, the Spanish and their indigenous allies emerged victorious in the Battle of Otumba. The Aztec army suffered heavy casualties, and their defeat dealt a significant blow to their military strength. The battle provided a much-needed boost to the morale of the Spanish conquistadors and their allies, allowing them to continue their campaign against the Aztec Empire. It was a crucial turning point in the Spanish conquest of Mexico that demonstrated the resilience and determination of the Spanish forces and their ability to overcome adversities. The defeat of the Aztecs at Otumba further weakened their resistance and contributed to the eventual fall of Tenochtitlan and the downfall of the Aztec Empire. 1 year later, on July 29, 1521, Tenochtitlan fell into the hands of the conquistadors, marking the end of the Aztec Empire and the beginning of Spanish rule in Mexico. And that was our little insight into La Noche Triste and the Battle of Otumba. Of course, you may be curious as to what the final outcome was 1 year later when the Spaniards conquered Tenochtitlan. If you are, if you are and you want to find out about the outcome of the battle and how Tenochtitlan was ultimately conquered by the Spaniards, simply write Mexico. Write Mexico in the comments, and I will be preparing a feature on the ultimate battle in the days to come. And of course, this brings us to the second feature that I put together for today. And the second feature is about more popular Mexican sayings. The last time we visited some of these, you enjoyed them quite a bit. So I have put together a collection of 15 smart Mexican sayings that you might enjoy learning about or maybe using, to impress your Spanish-speaking friends. They will be amazed and amused to know that you know about these sayings. Take a look. Hola. Today we embark on a captivating journey into the world of popular expressions that have emerged from Mexico through the centuries. From vibrant idioms to clever sayings, these linguistic gems beautifully embody the distinctive spirit, humor, and wisdom of Mexico, effortlessly capturing the essence of our daily interactions. Here are 15 smart and sassy expressions for you to consider if you are learning Spanish. If you are a fluent Spanish speaker, and even if you're not, I am sure your Mexican friends will be surprised and amused to hear them come out of your mouth. Más pronto cae un hablador que un cojo. This one literally means a talkative person trips sooner than one walking with a limp. So it is always wise not to be the talky person in the group, as you are prone to talk too much or make mistakes as you do. ¿Cómo estará el infierno que hasta los diablos se salen? This one is commonly used when there is a crisis or a situation that those involved in are reluctant to resolve. It literally means, I wonder how hell is when even the devils want to sneak out. De los parientes y el sol, entre más lejos, mejor. This is simple wisdom. The further you are from the sun and your relatives, the better you are. Se hizo de la vista gorda. The literal meaning of this phrase is he or she developed a fat sight, which doesn't mean much. Rather, it describes how people look the other way whenever they owe you money. It can also be used when you ask someone about a promise they made and they are avoiding the question. It can be used with the name of the person at the beginning or not. Es más caro el remedio que la enfermedad. This one literally means the remedy is more expensive than the disease, and it is commonly used when the resolution of a conflict can be more challenging than the conflict itself. Yo soy como Juan Orozco. Cuando como, no conozco. I am like Juan Orozco. When I eat, I don't recognize anyone. We don't know who Juan Orozco was. What matters here is that the last name Orozco rhymes with the word conozco, and the phrase is used for people who dive into their food without sharing. Agarraron al ladrón con las manos en la masa. They caught the thief with hands in the dough means the thief was busted in the middle of the theft. Le vi hasta la pared de enfrente. Let's say that a woman wearing a dress bends over and you get a glimpse of her midlands. Or maybe a guy wearing shorts spreads his legs sitting across from you and you get a good view. To say, le vi hasta la pared de enfrente is the equivalent of saying that you saw the whole thing, and it literally means I saw as far as the wall across the room. No da brinco sin huarache. This one translates to such and such doesn't jump without his huaraches. It is used to describe people that think of what's best for them first and not what's best for those surrounding them. No me supo ni a pepita de melón. They say that cantaloupe seeds are bland tasting. No me supo ni a pepita de melón means it didn't even taste like a cantaloupe seed. It is used to describe a person, event, meal, restaurant, trip, or any type of experience that was completely bland. No tengo padre, ni madre, ni perro que me ladre. This one means, I don't have a father, or a mother, or a dog that will bark at me. It is the sad lament of someone who is or feels like being all alone in the world. Otra vez la misma danza y yo que ni sé bailar. Do you have a friend that complains a lot? This one translates into, here you go again with the same steps and I don't even know how to dance. It is used to refer to a person that complains a lot or complains about the same things consistently. Camarón que se duerme, se lo lleva la corriente. When a shrimp falls asleep, it is pulled by the current. So this is sound advice to remain alert at all times so you don't miss out on a good opportunity. It can be used with snark when you and your friend are waiting in line to get tickets for something and you beat him to the last ticket, for example. Barriga llena, corazón contento. A full tummy results in a happy heart. Use this one whenever you've enjoyed an amazing meal and are in a state of peaceful happiness. Me extraña que siendo araña te caigas de la pared. Here's another one that rhymes. Me extraña means I'm surprised. Araña means spider. So the whole thing translates to, I'm surprised that being a spider, you can't hold on to the wall. It is perfect to criticize someone that claims to know a lot about everything. If you've enjoyed learning these phrases, please feel free to share this video with your friends. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to enjoy more videos such as this one. Hasta pronto. Last but not least, I want to remind you that this coming Friday will be a very special day for our friends at Hecho a Mano as they're celebrating their 1 year anniversary celebration at Casa Guadalajara Bar and Grill in Avenida Fluvial. I wanted to go to the last event that they had there, but was not able to, so I am really hoping to be able to go to this one as I am very fond of what they are doing in creating these wonderful opportunities for local artists to be able to sell their own handmade products directly to the public. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Of course, no weather, no chit chat, but I will be checking all your comments while I am away. Thank you so much for being a part of Coffee and Headlines, for supporting our project, but most importantly, thank you for giving me a chance to take a few days for a well-deserved, hopefully, vacation and celebration of my birthday. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.